Hi, it's Denise with Ladybug Stampin here with another video tutorial for you guys today. I'm trying to think of a new line when I come in, so maybe y'all can give me some pointers instead of just saying that every time. I don't know what to say. But today we're going to be using poinsettia petals, however you want to say that. Everybody says it a little bit different, I think. We're going to be using this. And we're going to be using the dies too. We're going to be using both these. And we're going to be using something. And we're only going to be making one thing today, y'all. We're not going to make a card. We're just going to make this. We're going to be taking something from the Dollar Tree. I know. I love the Dollar Tree, you guys. I just love finding stuff and going, how can I take that and use it with Stampin' Up? So I'm going to create, and I didn't know for sure. I knew I was going to create a tag. And you can create a large tag to put on your Christmas tree. You can decorate it like that. You can also use it on gifts. You know, maybe put somebody's name on here, and you can use it year after year after year. But you'll be able to find these at Dollar Tree this year. I've seen some already. So, but if you can't, okay, if you can't find these, you can make them out of like chipboard. And we have very thick chipboard that comes in some of our different paper packs. So you can use that. And this. So this is, the tag size is 7 by 4, or a little over 7, a little over 4. So it's 7 this way and 4 this way. That's without these pieces cut off. In case you need to take something like that. So you can recreate this. But what I'm going to use it for, what I decided, and I'm going to give somebody some credit here for part of my design. But I'm going to use these to hang on my chairs, because I have like little knobs at the top of my chairs and on my dining room table, and I thought these would make great chair tags, like with their names. Instead of putting it on the plate, which is traditional, it would be cute to kind of put them on their name on here and then put it on the chair. Okay, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put this to the side, and we're going to go ahead and get started. As you can see, there's some of this glitter, and Dollar Tree loves glitter. They put glitter on everything. They could have let that alone, not put glitter. But you're going to take some sandpaper, and you're going to sand that off. And this is what we're left with. So I've sanded this off. You won't be able to get all of it off, but I will give you a little tip. If you take the heat tool and kind of heat this underneath here and like a little scraper, you can get the rest of this off. But since we're using cardstock on here, we don't need to do that because you're not going to see it. And we're going to trim this little red bow off. Yes, you can keep it. You can also untie it like this if you want to keep this ribbon. Okay, put that to the side. All right, so now we've got a piece of cardstock that is cut at 7, it's like 7 1/16. And 4 by 4 and 1/6. What we're going to do is we're going to lay this against this. Okay, you want it kind of straight where it's going to cover it. I want to make sure it's going to cover it. All right, and we're going to lay this down. We're going to get out I had a pencil over here, but now I have a pen. So we're going to take this and we're going to mark it. And I'm going to mark it like this, not at an angle, not like this, because it'll make it, I want it right up against this tag. Okay, and then we're just going to get out our paper snips, and we're going to cut that right on that line like that. So stinking simple, y'all. Our Stampin' Still Plus, and the side that had the marking, that's where you're going to put your adhesive. So we're going to put some adhesive, and I'm going to go around the whole perimeter. I want them for something different. So okay, and just making sure I line this up, just being really careful to make sure it's lined. Where's that little hole? It's right there. You're going to get out your piercing tool, and you're going to poke a little hole right through there. Whoops. Like this, don't poke your finger. And then come back over here, and you're going to poke through like that, okay? And you're going to get that hole ready, because we are going to use some ribbon on that later. I'm going to get out my Early Espresso real quick. And I'm going to get out one of our sponges. And I'm just going to very lightly, I'm not going to put up too much. And I just want a little bit of color. Kind of like edge, just a little bit. I don't want it to be too noticeable, but just to kind of like give it a little hint of color. Kind of make it, don't look so, see how that looks, just looks unfinished? That looks unfinished to me. Especially on something like this. If it's a card, it's a little bit different. But on here, I want it to be a little bit more finished. Oh yeah, see, that looks so much better than the other one. We are going to get out some Real Red and Old Olive. Did I say this was Old Olive? Yeah, I think I said Garden Green at the beginning. It is Old Olive. So we're going to get a piece out of Old Olive, and this is cut at 2.5 by 1 3/4, and then this is cut out 3 by 6. So before we do anything, we're going to get out our stamps, and we're going to take these 3 and we're going to stamp on here. And then we're also going to get out this leaf, so it's still kind of the outline of the leaf, and we're going to put on a, was this a B block? Yep. All right. So on here, we're not going to stamp in Real Red, y'all. We're not. We're going to stamp in Early Espresso for the poinsettia. Okay. So we're going to take this and ink this up. Okay. And we're going to just lay it about right there, because I want to be able to get all 3 of these in on this. Okay, there we go. See, I just like the way that picks up. I'm going to get some Garden Green. I know, Garden Green on Old Olive, but I like the way it picks up. And I'm going to ink that, and I'm just going to stamp that right in the middle, because we're going to need that as well. I just forgot the stamps. So we're going to get out these little berries on here as well. Okay, and we're going to stamp these onto Crumb Cake. We're going to stamp it twice. We're going to use Early Espresso again. Okay, take that. I think we're done with this for a second. We're going to get out our Real Red. We're going to take our little berries here. We're going to ink this up. And we're going to lay these on the berries. Let's see, is this the other way? Yep, other way. And I'm trying to see this in the light. I need some new lighting. All right, I'm gonna get the dies out. I love these dies. Y'all, this set, talk about value for your money. You get a lot. You can see I've already been using these. So I'm gonna take this, and is it this one right here? Yep. And you want to make sure you line these up, because all the petals are not the same. As you can see, this one's got a little curve to it. This one does not. So you're just going to line it up on here. Make sure wherever you put it's where it's going to stay. Okay. And the same way with this one. And I have to look at it a couple times. Like, I know this is indented, so that's the one I'm going to start with. Sometimes it takes a second. Like that one went right. Oh, here I scooted it over, so I'll have to scoot that back. And nope. So I go like this, and it's right there. I went ahead and ran all these through the machine, the die cutting machine, and I also cut out a these two little ones here for the center here for in Bumblebee and Early Espresso, and we're gonna hear those together. And then on here, I wanted to show you guys, I put these together because I wanted to show you that little mark I was talking about. I put on this. They have these like veins of the poinsettia that you can actually take and put on here. And that's where you want to use that when you come in, you know, when you use that. Same with the stamp, you know, you want to mark it. But you just want to run, you can take this and run it through the die cutting machine, and it will give you those little kind of ridges. And I did that on the first one, but I think I'm going to leave it off the second one just to show you a different look. And I'll show you the first one I made. Now we're going to put this together. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my bone folder, and I'm going to kind of roll these like this. So when I put it together, it'll give it more of a 3D effect. I'll do the same. And I'm just going to kind of go this way with this one. So it kind of like that. All right, then those two. So now we're going to get out our adhesive. And I'm going to get out a little Tombow. And I'm going to get out my silicone mat, just because I will need that. And I'm going to start laying these down. So I'm going to take this one and put a little Tombow in the middle here. And this one I'm going to turn it like this. Okay. Kind of like, actually kind of like this. I want it off center just a little bit, not complete, because we're going to put this one down. And then I want to put this one down. And this one's going to kind of go in between those as well. Like, about like this. Yeah. Okay. We're going to leave that like that. Then we're going to take this one. And I'm going to put a little dot in the middle. A bigger dot. A bigger dot. Lay that on there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit, and this will dry clear, but just put a little pieces, little dots of glue. Now I will say this, that you can use adhesive sheet, and I just didn't. And I'm just gonna line this up. Back out our tag. And then we've got some more pieces of DSP. And this one is cut at, what was this one cut at? 3x6. This was cut by 3x6. And then these are our little strips we're going to use later. But I'll go ahead and tell you, again, these will all be listed down below. So we've got 1 inch by 3 5/8. Then we've got 3/4 of an inch by 2 5/8. And the crumb cake is cut at, let's see, about 1/2 inch by 1 3/4. I don't have that on there for some reason. And then this vellum, which is from the point, it's called Poinsettia Plush Vellum. This is cut at 1 by 3. And we're going to use this. And this is where I'm going to give somebody credit, because I didn't know what to do with this. All right, now, if I set this on here, it kind of looks weird because this is, tag, this is not. And I didn't really want that, because I need to lift this up a little bit and see how that's going to kind of look off. So what I'm going to do, is, this is why I love this grid paper. I'm going to lift this up and make sure. Okay, you guys can see this. I had to kind of look up and make sure. I'm going to lay this against my grid paper here in the corner. And I'm going to take a mark and I'm going to put it right here at the 1. And I'm going to go right over here and do the same thing on this side. So it's 1 inch across. Okay, then we're going to go to the 3/4 mark at the top here. We're going to mark it here, and then we're going to go to the 2 1/4 mark, and we're going to mark it right there. Then you're going to get out your ruler, and I'm just going to take my pen, line it up with the other one, and I'm going to cut that like that to make sure. Yep. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this. Now, if this is dark DSP in the back, you're just going to have, if you use a kind of bold like that, you should be able to find it. Right, now let's get out our paper snips. That was really easy, wasn't it? We all have pens and rulers in our office, in our craft room, don't we? Okay, trim that off. And then trim this one off like that. And then bring our tag back over. And before I adhere this, I'm going to edge this one as, of course. Okay, so just, yeah, I love how that gives that a finished look. I really, really do. Okay, on this piece of DSP, we're going to do the same thing, but I am going to get a little bit more ink. So I'm going to get my Early Espresso out. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do before I do that, I'm going to crumble this up. I sat here and did this last night. And I was like, oh yeah, that feels so satisfying. So I'm just going to wad it up. I want it to look all, messed up. Okay. So pull that out. And if that doesn't even, you can just take it again and roll it up. Kind of get it up some more. Whatever you want. Whatever look you want. I just like sometimes shabby chic, or I don't know, torn, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to get some ink it up, and I want a really good edge on this. Okay, there we go. I'm going to put this one to the side. Then we're going to get out our garden green. And we're going to do the same thing with this one. But before we do that, we're going to make a little flag out of this. We do have a punch, but for speed's sake, I'm just going to cut it myself. And I hope it lines up. Hope it lines up. I'm gonna, yeah. That didn't do too good of a job, did it? There we go. Okay. I did really good on the first one. I don't know why that messed up. Oh my goodness. And that's good. And then on our little piece right here, this little piece is cut at, I'm trying to look at my notes and I don't have it. So this is cut at 1/4 of an inch. Oh, I already told you guys, didn't I? 1/4 by 3 3/4, and it's not on my notes. And we're going to get out our sponge and we're just going to edge that a little. And on this piece of vellum, we're going to angle it. So I'm just going to take it here and go to this point right here. Like that. Make it look like that. Okay, and here's where the idea came. The reason why I'm getting all these pieces is because we're going to layer these up on the tag. And I got this idea during World Card Making Day. There was a lady on there named Debbie Elslinger, and she is new to my channel, but she was she's a friend of Ruth's, I think is where she came. But she had made a card, y'all. It was beautiful, and she had layered up her cardstock and her, oh my gosh, it was just gorgeous. And that's where I was like, that's what I need on that tag. There was something lacking, and that's what I needed. So thank you so much. And I told her I was going to give her credit. So I wanted to make sure and do that. So we're going to go ahead and get our paper. You can use Tombow if you want. I'm going to use my seal. And I don't have to be so generous with this one because it's going on top of cardstock. So we're going to lay this down. And it's not going to match up perfectly, but it's going to kind of resemble the tag. If you want to spend the time to do all that, line that up, you can. I'm not going to do that because I probably could have went in it, but I wanted the width of this. And I'm just going to line this up, you know, kind of evenly. All right, then we're going to take our poinsettia, and I am going to lay this down first. I'm not going to adhere it yet. Take all our little pieces and our berries. We're going to put our berries up here. I know I got berry paper, but I was running out, and I have a shipment of DSP coming, but I didn't want to put this particular project off any longer, so I'll show you the original one too. Then we're going to take our little tag, our little pieces here. I'm going to lay them down first to kind of show you what we're doing here. Like this. That might have had too much ink on it. That's okay. And then this piece is going to go right underneath there. So I need to lift this up. These need to go up because I want a little bit of it showing down here. And this, my friends, I think is where I'm going to put their name. Right here. It's not gonna be it's not gonna be in your face because I want them to look pretty too, but I'm thinking I'm gonna put their name right here. If not, I like the way this looks, and I can always add their name somewhere else. Okay, so I got that. So this is about where I want to put my poinsettia. So I'm going to take a little bit, of adhesive, and we're going to take this, and I'm just going to tuck it underneath here. I don't have a whole lot of vellum. And I'm going to leave enough space to write their name if I want, because I think that's good enough for a name. I can write tiny, but if you want, you could put their name up here. Okay, to finish it off, we're going to use some of this nice little white ribbon. It is from the Flowers for Every Season, and there's 3 ribbons in that particular pack, combo pack, and I'm going to use this Whisper White, like linen. It feels like linen. And I'm going to take our pokey tool, and I'm going to, let me pick this up, kind of double it up and just stick it through there. On there. There we go. Okay. And I'm going to take about that much. And maybe we can go up a little bit. Okay, that'll work. And then trim off our ribbon. Then we're going to tie this in a knot like this. And then we're going to take this one and we're going to tie a knot up the top. And that's if you're going to use it like I'm going to use it on my chair. But if you're going to use it as a regular tag, you don't have to. And I'm just going to tie this. I'm going to pull this up because I don't want that knot all the way down there. Okay. Like this. Let me trim this part off right here because that's where I poked that hole. Okay. And there you go. I've got a little chair tag. And again, I could put their name right here too. I could take a little piece and put right here so it's a little bit bigger for them to read. But I mean, I'm going to tell them where to sit. I'm just going to have that on there for looks. Okay, here's the other one that I created earlier. And you can see, I did not edge this. See how I did not edge that, but I did this. I like this because it looks more finished. And then I didn't edge this one either. But I do like this paper because of the berries, it gave a little bit more green to it. But if you like this one, that's fine too. And there's other papers in there you could choose. But I wanted to show you the two different looks. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thanks for stopping by. And don't forget to go get your tag from Dollar Tree. Let me put the original out here so we can see how we transformed it. Okay. There we go. Oh my gosh. I love this idea. And again, I will use some of these for name tags on gifts, just for fun. So, all right, guys. Well, thanks and for stopping by. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And we will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.